Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports, kicking off Public Media M1's foreign language news hour. I'm Árpád Szőci, bringing you the latest from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Thanks for tuning in. Around the middle of the year, it's estimated that the European Commission will present its report on the rule of law in all member states. That's what the EU's Commissioner of Justice said at the meeting of the European Parliament Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs, also known as LIBE. Didier Reynders said that, among other things, they'll also be examining the independence of courts, corruption and pluralism in media. Hungarian Fidesz MEP Balázs Hídvégi said that he has asked for objectivity, something he pointed out the previous European Commission was incapable of. He gave the example of Frans Timmermans, saying that as Vice President of the Commission, he used the rule of law more as a weapon.
We cannot allow the left wing to abuse the concept of the rule of law. I had said that you have to measure everyone with the same yardstick. And if we are examining constitutionality, then let's examine it everywhere. And if we are talking about justice systems, then let's see how things really work in all the member states and how you can compare them. Furthermore, you also have to see what types of information the official Commission reports are based on about each country or territory and whether they were written based on information from civic organizations or analysis.
Without nuclear power, Europe cannot realize climate neutrality by 2050. That's why the European Union should stop discriminating against nuclear power. That's what Hungary's Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister said in the Czech Republic's capital, Prague, in his lecture at the 6th Central European Atomic Energy Conference. Péter Szijjártó pointed out that the EU has to ensure a level playing field and even support nuclear energy, since nuclear power plants are more reliable, cheaper, less polluting, and can be used as a guaranteed source of electricity in the long run. Investing in the construction of the planned Paks 2 nuclear power plant in Hungary means the country will emit 17 million tons less of carbon dioxide every year.
Hungary is at the forefront in the battle against climate change. Nuclear investments will render it possible that by the 2030s, 90% of Hungarian electricity production will be carbon neutral, which is unique in all of Europe. Similarly, we are also one of the 21 countries which were able to continually increase economical efficiency while also decreasing emissions of pollutants.
Hungary continues to work on its eastern opening policy for Asia. Now, the Hungarian government is studying whether gas reserves from Turkmenistan could reach the country and by what means. That's what the Hungarian Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister said at a meeting of the Hungary-Turkmenistan Intergovernmental Economic Committee in Budapest.
Hungary is making an effort to create stronger economic ties with Turkmenistan and, in fact, all of Central Asia. They also put those intentions in writing in a document signed by the State Secretary of the Hungarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade and by the Finance and Economic Minister of the former Soviet member state. Turkmenistan has the world's fourth largest natural gas reserves after Russia, Iran and Qatar. For us Hungarians and for Hungary, it is of vital interest that Turkmen gas reach Europe, that it first get to Azerbaijan, then to Turkey, and to then connect to the southern gas corridor so it can reach Hungary, Tamás Mencer said. He added that if the necessary infrastructure for Turkmen gas to reach Europe is constructed, then Hungary could purchase about 5 billion cubic meters of natural gas each year. The State Secretary also talked about how they'd like to expand cooperation in the pharmaceutical industry, and that the Turkmen side has expressed interest in Hungarian water management technology as well. Thanks to the government's Eastern opening policy, Hungarian commercial trade grew by 29% compared to 2010, and Hungarian exports to Asia increased by 24%. In order to ensure that Hungarian economic growth can continue, we need to enter new markets, for example, Asia. There are more products and services on the table there, such as meat, machinery, transportation equipment, and, of course, tourism, a head analyst at Századvég said. The success of the Eastern opening policy is shown by the fact that almost half of the 100 mega investment projects that arrived in Hungary last year, their value surpassing more than 5 billion euros, came from southern Asia. And a third of the new jobs created last year were made possible by Korean, Chinese, and Japanese investors.
The atmosphere is reportedly tense in the northeastern town of Gyöngyöspata after a court ruled in favor of families whose children were segregated. They're now set to receive 300,000 euros in compensation. While many families look forward to the money, the town's mayor said that most residents actually would prefer compensation for environmental damage there caused by companies.
Those affected need money for new bathrooms and to buy houses, not for continuing their studies, the Roma leader of Gyöngyöspata told M1 News. According to Lajos Farkas, because of the discrimination, the young adults haven't learned how to read or write, so they can't return to school. But not everyone agrees that the former students should be compensated financially. Some locals in Gyöngyöspata say that a few of the discriminated students didn't want to study, no matter what opportunities they had. Tensions are rising in the community because of the compensation, the mayor of Gyöngyöspata told M1 News. The majority of the inhabitants are of the opinion that these families should receive compensation in the form of education, so what they've had less of, that's what we need to help them in, she said. The affected families in Gyöngyöspata should be offered long-term opportunities for catching up, a Roma expert said on public media's radio Tuesday morning. We must discuss the compensation directly with the families affected in the school segregation case in Gyöngyöspata, because the foundation that launched the lawsuit has lost its credibility, the region's Fidesz MEP said. As László Horváth put it, the Soros Foundation uses people it advocates for as tools to make profits and to reach its own political goals.
Hungarian culture has never been supported as much as it is now. That's what Hungarian government spokesperson Alexandra Szentkirály said in a social media video on occasion of Hungarian Culture Day. Since 1989, it's been observed every January 22nd because on that day, Ferenc Kölcsey finished writing the lyrics for the national anthem of Hungary back in 1823.
Our cultural values, as well as the idiosyncrasies of the Hungarian language, have formed a community, a nation in the Carpathian Basin. Feeling like you belong somewhere in the world renders a sense of pride in us Hungarians. And this feeling of togetherness is one which we must not relinquish in the future. The Hungarian cultural sphere has never received this much support. Cultural developments are occurring one after the other. Budapest's most important architectural legacies are being renewed. The Kossuth Square was rebuilt, in addition to the Várkert Bazaar at Buda Castle, which was in ruins for decades. The Roman Hall reclaimed its original splendor after 70 years, and here, near the Museum of Fine Arts, they have launched the largest cultural innovation city development program in the Western world, namely the reconstruction of City Park. Theaters are being renewed, as well as cultural areas. Renovations at the Opera House will soon be completed. The Csiki Gergely Theater in Kaposvár was renewed. Moreover, countless other theaters are being renovated throughout the country. The historical city center of Sopron has regained its bygone magnificence, while the village museum in Szentendre is set to host a display on Transylvania. Hungarian legendary castles are being rebuilt, as well as monumental palaces.
The past 100 years of artworks from Nagyvárad, which is now located in Romania, are on display at the Semsei Castle in Balmazújváros in eastern Hungary. The exhibit is called From Nagyvárad to Paris and Back, featuring 60 paintings and graphic artworks. Altogether, more than 300 creations are on display, covering the avant-garde period till the present day, and showing off this city's rich art history. The Hajmatikum thermal bath in Mako in southern Hungary is a great place to relax and unwind. And its scenery is also quite splendid. The spa itself was designed by world-renowned Hungarian architect Imre Makovec, reflecting an organic concept. The spa features 15 indoor baths, pools, saunas, and treatment rooms. And there are also outdoor pools and a children's area also. The thermal water also has medicinal properties. And that's all for now, but you can see Hungary reports in repeats and on the internet, and we're back live after the next Hungarian news at 11 p.m. Central European Time. Please stay tuned, if you can, for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching, and viszontlátásra!